I'm not going so far as to say that England gave birth to the French Revolution. However, I have to confess that we love monarchy, but especially when it's not at home.
Oh mon Dieu, what a spectacle. President Macron's recent visit to the UK turned into less of a diplomatic summit and more of a Netflix comedy special with a royal twist. Picture it, Macron steps up to the podium, beams at the glittering royal audience and drops a cheeky grenade of a line. I love the monarchy, especially when it's not at home. The crowd howled with laughter. The royal family? Less so. Think deer in the headlights but wearing tiaras. King Charles, trying to muster a chuckle, looked more like someone who'd just bitten into a lemon tart expecting it to be apple. Prince William's face froze into that very British expression that says, I am both offended and too polite to say anything. Meanwhile, Kate stood next to him, radiating the energy of a woman who'd rather be anywhere else, like on a remote Scottish island, preferably one with no cameras or French presidents. And then there's the infamous hand squeeze. William clung to Kate's hand like a man hanging off a cliff edge. Poor Kate's fingers turned a delicate royal purple. Though, let's face it, that might be the most colour Buckingham Palace has seen in years. The whole thing played out like an awkward dinner party, where one guest makes a wildly inappropriate joke and everyone tries to pretend it didn't happen, except it was broadcast to millions. And just to spice things up, we had King Charles sporting what the press called his mysterious red eye, which is either a minor health issue or proof he's finally joined the Avengers. Either way, not a great look. In the end, the entire event felt less like a celebration of Franco-British unity and more like a tragicomedy penned by a royal ghostwriter with a flair for the absurd. One thing's clear, if this visit was meant to strengthen the monarchy's image, it might have done the opposite. Instead of elegance and diplomacy, we got side eyes, forced smiles and enough tension to power the national grid. So next time, maybe just send a postcard, Emmanuel. Less risk of turning the royal PR machine into a flaming carriage pumpkin. Oh la la, President Macron didn't just bring diplomacy to the UK. He brought the roast. Mid-speech he flashes that Gallic grin and drops this zinger. The French love the monarchy, especially when it's not at home. Boom! The crowd erupted. Laughter bounced off the ancient stone walls like someone had just slipped a whoopee cushion under the throne. Forget reverence. This wasn't a room solemnly honouring centuries of tradition. This was Britain's elite, politely wheezing into their wine glasses, while the monarch himself stood about 5 feet away, possibly wondering if he'd been insulted or if it was just Macron being, well, French. The vibe? Less royal reception and more awkward office party where someone makes a joke about the boss. And oh, did King Charles feel it? His face did that tight-lipped twitch you get when someone critiques your garden, but you still have to offer them a scone. And then came the power walk. Macron, clearly feeling himself post-punchline, strutted ahead like a man on a Paris runway. He started chatting with a guard, while King Charles was left shuffling behind like someone trailing a supermarket trolley with a wonky wheel. Charles looked like he was about to ask, "Excuse me, am I still the host here?" The contrast was cinematic. Macron, the swaggering, unbothered political peacock, and Charles, the slightly puzzled granddad trying to catch up to the cool kids. The optics? Glorious. The message? The monarchy might still wear the crown, but it doesn't always command the room. One thing's for sure, state visits are no longer stiff affairs of solemn nodding and handshake choreography. Now they come with quips, snubs, and enough awkward tension to fuel an entire season of The Crown Live. Oh, bless the royal PR machine. Working overtime and sweating harder than Prince Andrew in a Pizza Express. The latest episode of As the Windsors Wobble featured none other than Prince William and Kate Middleton putting on what can only be described as a performance so forced, even amateur theatre students would wince. Let's set the scene. William and Kate, the golden couple of Kensington, are dragged into yet another glitzy state visit. But instead of royal sparkle, we get royal strain. William, looking like someone just told him the pub's closed forever, grips Kate's hand with the intensity of a man clinging to the last shred of dignity, or possibly trying to telepathically ask her if they can leave early. Meanwhile, Kate's fingers turn a shade of thistle blue, the official colour of "Please stop squeezing, dear." Kate, ever the professional duchess, is clearly in camera hunting mode. You could practically hear her thinking, "All right, where's the nearest Daily Mail lens I can beam this loving smile into before my fingers fall off?" She's clinging to William's arm like it's her BAFTA moment, delivering long, loving glances, not at him but straight into the camera lens. It's like watching someone audition for the Real Housewives of Buckingham Palace. William, on the other hand, looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. A dentist's chair, a traffic jam on the M25, a medieval stocks punishment, just not here with this woman, pretending they're still in the honeymoon phase, while his expression screams, "We had a fight in the car, didn't we?" Their entire interaction feels like a royal soap opera directed by someone who only skimmed the script. The forced smiles, the death grip, the mutual eye-dodging. It's like Love Actually, if it were set in a palace and all the joy had been replaced with passive-aggressive body language. And the worst part? The public can see right through it. No one's buying the fairy tale anymore. We're all watching the blooper reel in real time. This was less modern monarchy and more marital Mayday, a desperate, cringy attempt at damage control, only highlighting the cracks in the crown. So here's to Will and Kate, holding hands, holding grudges and holding on for dear life. Royal romance has never looked so contractually obligated. Oh dear. If the royal family wanted this state visit to be a glittering show of unity and pageantry, what they delivered instead was pure palace pantomime, complete with a mysterious red eye, a reluctant royal handhold, and enough staged affection to rival a reality TV reunion special. Let's start with King Charles' eye, shall we? Yes, the media did issue a warning, like a storm forecast, red eye approaching. Hide the French, and lo and behold, out strolls His Majesty, warmly welcoming President Macron. Looking like he just lost a bar fight with a rogue corgi. No explanation, no royal statement. Just Charles, gazing out at the press with one glowing crimson orb like he's halfway through morphing into a Game of Thrones character. Of course, the monarchy's PR team, rather than address it head-on, opted for their signature move, the royal shrug. Nothing to see here, peasants, just your sovereign slowly turning into a Sith Lord. Carry on with the hors d'oeuvres. But wait, the true drama was over in the royal romance department. Enter William and Kate, arms interlocked like a couple who just remembered their therapist said lots of physical touch. William's grip on Kate's hand was less romantic gesture, more emergency evacuation protocol. Her fingers visibly changed colour. Officially Pantone 245C, royal circulation cut off. And bless Kate. Ever the professional duchess on duty, she was scanning for cameras like a hawk in a hat shop. Every glance, every arm clutch, every over-rehearsed smile screamed, "See, we're in love! Right, William?" And William? His expression had all the warmth of a cold meat pie. You could practically hear him thinking, do I get to go home now? Their interactions felt about as genuine as a sponsored Instagram post. It wasn't affection, it was affliction. Forced smiles, mechanical hand-holding, all under the desperate gaze of PR flaks praying no one notices the tension you could cut with a ceremonial sword. And yet, we all noticed. The royal facade is cracking faster than Charles's eye socket. From mysterious maladies to marital mayhem, this visit was less about diplomacy and more about damage control with a side of chaos. In the end, the only thing more painful than Kate's purple fingers was watching the monarchy try to look relatable while silently unravelling in high definition. One thing's for sure. If the royal family was hoping for a fairy tale moment, they got Grimm Brothers' realness instead. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. It's your host, Tyler. Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Love you all. Goodbye.